you do not need more discipline. And if you are telling yourself that you do, there's a good chance that that's the voice that's keeping you stuck, because what most people call discipline is actually self-abandonment dressed up as success, because it is a forcing mechanism. It's overriding, it's pushing through when your body is actually asking you to listen. And if you are a high performer, a high center leader, you probably build an entire life on being the one who can push through, who can make it happen. But here's the truth: the very strategy that got you to where you are right now is the one that's now disconnecting you from yourself. And this matters because right now I'm seeing this everywhere in a lot of client calls: leaders, entrepreneurs, creative people who are not failing, but who feel like they are because they are dropping their capacity. Their motivation is inconsistent. The clarity, right? They're feeling foggy, making clear decisions. And the immediate reaction is, I need more discipline. I need to be more disciplined. But what if it isn't a discipline problem? What if your nervous system is not going through a collapse or burnout, but it's simply needing some space to reorganize? When there is a collapse in the capacity that we have to hold, that does not make us lazy. That heavy energy, it's the body's intelligence trying to tell you that the version of you that got you here is not the version that can lead you to the next chapter. And this is the moment where people just break trust with themselves because they override and they push harder. They go back to trying to control everything. And in doing that, they lose access to their intuition, their creativity, their aliveness, because what we forget is that regulation must come before strategy. Let's name what this actually is. You are not lacking in discipline. You are perhaps in a transition of identities. There is the old identity, right? The one that is controlling and it's over functioning. Oh my God, it's people pleasing everyone, trying to keep the party alive, holds everything together, right? It performs all the time to feel worthy. It creates safety to feeling like it has to hold everything. It's built success and stability and it built a life and it worked. But now there's a new identity emerging. And that's the one who leads from truth and not from seeking approval. This is the one that is listening to the body, moves from clarity, not from pressure. It receives support. It expresses instead of suppressing. Right now, that tension that you're feeling might be your inability to access the new identity with the old strategy. So when you say, I just need to be more disciplined, you're trying to solve a new level of life with an old level of self. That's why it feels heavy and confusing. That's why things used to work before, but now they don't work anymore. They feel boring, right? Because it's not a breakdown that's happening in your life. It's an initiation. If this is for you, you're probably someone who people rely on. You're the one who knows how to get things done. You've built results in your life. And yet there's that quiet voice inside of you that is saying, this way of living just isn't exciting anymore. I feel tired, but not just like tired physically, right? It's like that tiredness at a deep level because you feel disconnected from your own rhythm. You feel frustrated with your own patterns. You are aware that you're overgiving and you're unsure how to change it without everything falling apart. And maybe there's grief too, because there is a part of you that knows that if you stop being who you've always been, your life might change, and that's real. But let's meet you there, right? For a moment. Maybe you're not losing yourself. Maybe this is the process of meeting yourself, right? So if it's not discipline, then what do we do? So what is the shift? And the first practice I'm going to give you is that you shift from control to relationship. Stop trying to manage yourself and start relating to yourself. So instead of thinking, what do I need to push or force today, act what is actually true in me right now, right? What is exciting? What is creating movement? Because truth creates movement. And whenever we force, we just create more resistance. Second practice I want to give you is just to regulate before you make aligned decisions. Most people are attempting to make aligned decisions with a dysregulated nervous system. And when your body is dysregulated, right, is in a high fight or flight state, you can't access your intuition. It's just offline. And so before you try to come up with any strategy, please come back to your body. Even something as simple to just bring a hand to your chest and to bring your breath all the way down to your feet, to allow yourself to feel your spine as you're breathing in and you're holding yourself. Imagine, visualize your spine, send your energy into your midline and breathe there. What starts to happen is that you start to sensitize your center, and you want to make decisions that are connected to your center. You want to create a level of a parasympathetic nervous system down regulating. And then from that place is much easier to access creativity, access new language, access intuition, open our third eye, right? Allow ourselves to have the capacity to imagine better. We want to be doing that. So make sure that you are regulating before you're trying to strategize. The third practice is please stop rewarding self abandonment. Every time you overwrite your truth and you somehow still get the results, you reinforce the old identity. And this is big because there might be a lot of high performers and people you admire because they're so successful, and the truth is that they got to where they are because they're self-abandoning themselves. So if your success comes with the price of disconnection, of lack of fulfillment and burnout, is that real success? There's also a lot of people doing amazing things in the world that are not living on that state. So please be aware that the new level of our life requires a new level of standards for ourselves. So be strong with your standards. The fourth practice is expression. Expression is medicine. You don't need to think your way into clarity. Oftentimes, what you need is to express your way into it. So make sure that you write, you speak, you move your body, get rid of old energy, be honest with yourself, because freedom of expression clears the noise that discipline tries to control. The fifth practice I want you to take in is that let the contractions that you feel be a part of the expansion. And this is important. You will have days when you have to move slower, where there is uncertainty. You will feel like doing less. And that doesn't mean that you're moving backwards. Contraction in the body is often the body's intelligence reorganizing for expansion. And if you misinterpret that as fear, you'll go back to forcing. So make sure you trust it and move into that power. So this is what I want you to take from this. You do not need to fix yourself. You need to stop relating to yourself like you're a problem, because the way you relate to yourself is the way that you create your life, and unconsciously the way that you relate to other people. And if you're in this transition right now, you don't need more pressure. You need support, and you need reflection. You need good mirrors around you. You need a space where you can meet your self differently. That's the work that I do inside the Conscious Creator Experience, where we don't just talk about change, we actually shift the way we relate to ourselves. We move from performance to presence, from that desire to control to connection, from burning out to activating our vitality. So if this speaks to you, I want to invite you to have a conversation with me. Check the link below to book a call. Not because you need fixing, but because you're ready to lead your life in a different way. Remember, you don't need more discipline. You need a different relationship with yourself. Thank you so much.